Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I hereby call to order the Board of Education Committee of the Whole meeting of Warren Township High School District 121 for Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. The time is 6:35. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Squires?
Here.
Martinez?
Here.
Anderson?
Here.
Carlson?
Here.
Pope?
Here.
Demonte?
Here. Before the pledge, given the fact that today is Veterans Day, it's appropriate to say thank you today to our veterans, to let them know that here at Warren, we are grateful and acknowledge their sacrifices and accomplishments. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right there.
Oh, there we go. That's a good question. Board Clerk or Dr. Weisman, now that Tasia's here, do we need to have her record the fact that?
I'll just record it that
Okay,
she's here. Yeah.
great, thank you. Appreciate that. So next is the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes or items that need to be pulled from the consent agenda? Okay. Hearing none, I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay. Looks, it was either, yeah, it does not matter. So we had a first and a second. Any discussion? Okay, it looks like we can do a voice vote. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we can move on to public comment. We did. We grabbed it. So this is an opportunity for the community members to address the board. Board policy states that public comments are no longer than 30 minutes. This may be extended, but we also have quite a few discussion items to attend to tonight. Therefore, it's helpful if individuals or groups with similar statements to coordinate efforts to ensure important points are made. It also helps us hear representative comments regarding multiple topics reflected in the agenda tonight. I must remind all guests to speak clearly into the microphone. State your name, relationship to the district, and by board directive, you are allowed up to 3 minutes. We had a sign-in sheet. We have the sign-in sheet. That doesn't preclude anyone from still making a public comment if you didn't sign in, but we're going to start with those that did, and we're going to group them. It appears as if there's two main topics that people wish to address us tonight on, so we're going to go with one, and then we'll go with the other. If there are the amount of people that are on the sheet, we should be done within the 30 minutes. If we need to extend a little bit because you didn't sign up, not a problem. We'll go a little bit beyond that 30 minutes. I do want to remind everyone, though, as you come up and do so, that we do have a policy, and it's our practice. As people come up, there are people with varying viewpoints, and we want to have respect and civility during this portion of the meeting. People come to us, we represent everyone, so we want to make sure that everyone feels as if their voice is heard, regardless of how individuals may feel on the topic. So we appreciate your respect during that time. Ms. Pope, who do we have first?
Dan Curtis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dan Curtis. I'm a Woodland parent and soon to be Warren parent. First, I'd like to thank the board for tabling the freshman seminar vote during the last meeting to look at other alternatives. This shows you're listening to the needs of the community, and I urge you to continue looking and asking critical questions to determine what is right and the equitable solution for all the student population. I did some research on Big Picture Learning, the organization that you have contracted with for this advisory. BPL's ultimate goal is the redesign of the educational experience built on the motto, one student at a time. Their model is not a single class or seminar. It's a complete multi-year program involving internships. The 3 schools Warren visited for BPL were choice schools where students opted in or applied to be a part of that school culture. This is the key distinction. Those students chose that program. Our mandatory proposal forces it on everyone. I also discovered that Warren has been under contract with this organization since July 11, 25, for coaching services costing just under $35,000. Prior to this contract being signed, leaders of BPL shared with our administration that they believe a 45 to 60-minute daily period was the best option for their services. This format was decided prior to September 11th board meeting, where the 3 advisory alternative options were discussed. How is that possible? I'd like to provide an analogy related to the one-size-fits-all course being proposed for the freshman seminar. I'm a huge baseball fan and coach. Imagine if I'm coaching the Warren baseball team, providing every player, pitchers, catchers, infielders, and outfielders, with the exact same drills and instruction. What would happen? Some players would be fine, others would be bored, some would be lost. Ultimately, we would fail our players. Not because they lack talent, but because we failed to meet them where they are. We would never win a game. This one-size-fits-all approach is the exact approach that the proposed mandatory freshman seminar takes. Our students are not identical. They have specific positions that need specialized support. Some may need an advisory, some may need an elective, others may need a study hall to support their academic needs. I present this information to urge the board to pause all payments to this organization until all options have been identified. I question the objectivity of data from BPL, an organization with clear financial interest in selling their services and educational vision. What independent research has the district completed to show this mandatory course is the best option? We should be relying on our own analytics of what Warren students truly need, not on information from a consulting firm. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next person who's speaking on the topic of advisory.
Kelly McBlain.
Good evening. My name is Kelly McBlain. I'm the mother of a current junior and freshman and a 5th grader at Woodland. I'm also a 20-year educator from Lake Forest High School, where I've taught freshman classes, mixed ability classes, social studies classes, and theater electives. First, I want to thank the board for your thoughtful decision to pause the vote on the mandatory full-year, full-period freshman advisory proposal. That decision showed a real commitment to listening to the community and ensuring that all perspectives are considered before moving forward. I'm also grateful to Dr. Weisman for inviting a small group of parents, including myself, to be part of the conversations about next steps. I truly appreciate the opportunity and hope it marks the start of ongoing meaningful collaboration between all of the stakeholders. Tonight, I'd like to focus on 3 areas: transparency, equity, and collaboration. First, transparency. The community and all stakeholders deserve a clear and open process. It is not always felt that the implementation of this advisory program has been done in the most transparent way. This includes the fact that curriculum materials and contracts connected to the advisory have already been purchased, even though no proposal has been approved, or the fact that many concerns from teachers and administrators have already been expressed, but that has not always been made clear. This understandably raises questions about how decisions are being made and who's been included in those conversations. Transparency moving forward will be critical, especially in making sure that any new planning is genuinely open with all stakeholder input. We can only trust that the best decisions are being made for our students if discussions are transparent. Second, equity. We all share the goal of supporting every student, but requiring a full-period, full-year advisory would limit access to classes that are crucial to many students: world language, fine arts, tech campus, AP courses, 4 years of content classes. It's not equitable to ask families to make up lost credits in the summer at personal cost, or remove opportunities that directly impact college admissions and finances, or make students choose between an art class that helps them shape their identity, or a world language that they've been studying for 9 years in the dual program, or a tech campus, which is providing them with real-life skills. True equity gives every student both support and choice and meets all students where they are at. Finally, collaboration. The decision to pause gives us an important opportunity to reset and rebuild trust. In order to do that, we need to ensure that all options, such as creating advisory as an opt-in model, integrating it into the lunch period, or providing it during an assembly or WIN schedule, are explored and considered. And also making sure that everyone, including teachers, are a voice at that table. We have not seen evidence yet, and I hope that the advisory parent group can continue to serve as a true partner in that collaboration process. Thank you again for pausing, for listening, and for being willing to re-examine this proposal carefully. I look forward to working together to find a solution that strengthens belonging and preserves opportunity for every Warren student.
Thank you. Okay.
Christina Mills.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Christina Mills, and I'm a parent of an 8th grader right here at Woodland Middle School. He's going to be attending Warren High School tomorrow or next year. My son Isaac, I'm here tonight to respectfully urge you to vote no on the proposed mandatory freshman advisory course, and to express my strong support for keeping and renovating the swimming pool. So both things. I understand the goal of this new class is to help students feel a greater sense of belonging, and I truly appreciate that intention. But in trying to make things equitable for everyone, we risk unintentionally holding back students who already have full, ambitious schedules. Students taking rigorous courses, Project Lead the Way, band, foreign languages, and working hard to meet the requirements for their future university goals. I would encourage the district to consider alternative ways to deliver this content, perhaps during the last trimester of 8th grade, or through a short 6-week session during study hall, rather than as a full year required course. And if it is implemented, families should have the option to opt out for students with advanced academic plans, which my son is. He has advanced courses. He is very motivated and just always looking forward to the next challenge that comes up. Warren is a large, diverse district split between 2 campuses, and belonging here looks different than in smaller schools. Students build connection through clubs, athletics, and shared interests, not necessarily through another year-long class. Isaac is a great example. He's found belonging at Woodland through cross-country, Science Olympiad, and swimming with the Blue Devil Swim Club, which includes many Woodland students and Warren students. When we moved here from Buffalo, New York about a year and a half ago, he lost his orchestra program, and it was devastating to us. But his school activities in the swim club that uses the Warren pool have helped him rebuild that sense of connection. And swimming isn't just a sport, it's a life skill. I witnessed the tragic drowning of a teenage girl at Illinois Beach State Park 2 summers ago, an experience that reminded me how vital swim education is. Warren Swim Gym offers students that life-saving opportunity. So tonight, I urge you to vote no on making the freshman advisory a full-year requirement, consider shorter alternatives, and support renovating the pool, a true source of belonging, resilience, and life skills. Thank you for your time and your dedication to our students and community.
Thank you.
Chanel Bennett.
My name is Chanel Bennett. I am a Woodland parent of 3 students and will have a freshman right here next school year. He's already taller than me. I just wanted to quickly address the board in regard to the new freshman class being proposed. Students already have classes regarding social emotional learning and belonging beginning in kindergarten and continue all the way through 8th grade. The intervention class that students begin in 6th grade is a better time to address these concerns and build the skills over 3 years necessary to be prepared for high school. Implementing this class in 9th grade, once a student is already in high school, is not only late, but would replace a core subject that should be able to be completed within the regular school year and without taking away band and other elective opportunities that may help them with their future education and career goals. Having this class as an elective is fine, but to make this mandatory does not serve students equally, as students are in need of different things. Emotional learning can be included in current health classes as an option. I urge you to vote no on this new class. Thank you.
Britta Akron.
Advisory and the pool. But I'm not really going to talk about the pool all that much, but I do have a swimmer. So my name is Britta Akron. I am a parent of 2 Warren graduates and a current 8th grader. I'm also a Loyola Academy counselor. So the biggest question I have regarding the ongoing advisory discussion, and I have many, is that how did we coordinate with Big Picture Learning, and how has this relationship been funded? So Big Picture Learning mission is not curriculum development or advisory design. Their focus is on complete school overhauls. And according to Big Picture Learning, Spreading Relationships, Relevance, and Rigor One Student at a Time by Catherine Bradley and Laura Hernandez, published by the Learning Policy Institute, about 72% of the schools in their network are district public schools, but most of them are designated as alternative schools. These are schools created to support students who are underserved in traditional settings, students who may be struggling academically, have poor attendance, face social emotional challenges. And the report emphasizes that Big Picture Learning's mission is to create opportunities for students marginalized from conventional systems, typically in under-resourced urban schools. Only 5% at the time of the publishing were in suburban areas. 90% were in urban areas, an additional 5% in rural. That doesn't sound like our district, and according to the most recent Illinois report card, our district boasts 96% graduation rate, 75% of students attending college 2 or 4 years within 12 months, and an 86% passing rate on their AP exams with a 3, 4, or 5. So our profile does not fit the typical big picture learning. So why is this why are we in this partnership, and more importantly, how has it been funded? So in a recent FOIA requested dated October 27th, 2025, revealed $85,000 in contracts with Big Picture Learning. Within that FOIA was an email dated July 10th from Dr. Danny, who said, can you take 2 guided experiences off the contract? If a contract is over $35,000, I have to have board approval. That raises another serious question. Can a superintendent now or in the future continue to sign unlimited contracts under $35,000, effectively avoiding board oversight? Because 2 other contracts dated June 2nd totaling $49,050 were each split in half to stay under that limit. As a taxpayer, I believe that $35,000 threshold exists for a reason, and that's to ensure fiscal checks and balances. If this is being used as a loophole, it must be addressed immediately. And when you add travel, lodging, meals, and fees for all the guided experiences in San Diego, New York City, and Chattanooga for a number of our teachers and educators, we're well into 6 figures for this experience. 6 figures for a program that has not been approved by stakeholders, not supported by parents, and openly opposed by the teachers union. So if nothing else, this entire situation, and I appreciate the fact that you guys took the time to table it, should serve as a fiscal lesson and a call to revisit our spending procedures. Accountability matters, and our community deserves transparency. On top of that all, I would like to know where the funding, so I watched the pre-meeting with Dr. Danny as far as the numbers regarding the pool and just making that public where the money came from.
We're at 3 minutes.
Yep.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
John Frank.
Good evening. My name is John Frank. I'm speaking tonight as a parent and community member about the importance of keeping a pool at Warren Township High School. I have 2 children who will attend Warren in a few years, one of which is already a member of the Blue Devils Swim Club. I also come to you as a former swim team member, lifeguard, swim instructor, and coach. I've seen firsthand how access to a pool builds confidence, work ethic, and life-saving skills, and how it opens doors for additional job opportunities for students throughout their lives after they leave Warren. The decision affects my family directly and affects the future opportunities of all Warren students. I want to focus on what we lose if Warren no longer has a pool, specifically the missed opportunities for our students. First, missed employment opportunities. Each year, numerous lifeguard positions open up at Six Flags Hurricane Harbor, Great Wolf Lodge, Green Park District, and various other pools throughout the Lake County area. These employers depend on local high school students. Without access to a school pool, Warren students can't take lifeguard training and certification courses, closing the door to jobs that build responsibility, confidence, and strong work ethic, skills that serve them throughout life and open the door to future employment opportunities. It also limits future options. Many colleges hire students as on-campus lifeguards, and due to a lack of lifeguards, it's usually the easiest job if you need student loan assistance. These are steady, flexible jobs help pay tuition. If our students never have the chance to certify here, they start behind their peers in the future. Second, missed life-saving opportunities. Swimming is a critical life skill, especially in Lake County. We live in Lake Michigan, Chain of Lakes, and the Fox River. Drowning remains the leading cause of accidental death for children and teens. Schools have a real chance to change that. When swimming is accessible through school, every student, not just those who can afford private lessons, can learn to be safe around water. Finally, missed community connections. The pool serves more than just competitive swimmers. It supports physical education, safety instruction, lifeguard certification, and community programs that strengthen our schools' bond with families. Losing that space means losing these experiences. I understand there are financial and maintenance challenges, but when we consider the cost of repair, we must also consider the cost of what we lose: student safety, student jobs, and student opportunity. I respectfully ask the board to commit to keeping a pool in Warren's long-term facilities plans, whether through repair or replacement, and to ensure swimming and lifeguard training remain part of the Warren experience. Teaching our students to be safe, employable, and confident around water isn't extra, it's essential. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bernadette Lundeen.
Hello and good evening. My name is Bernadette Lundeen, and I am a Gurnee resident with 2 children in the Warren Township High School District. One of them swims with the Blue Devil Swim Club, here utilizing the high school pool. I am here to voice my strong support in keeping and improving the high school pool. It promotes health, safety, and teamwork, and serves both the students and community. Please continue to invest in this valuable resource that helps our kids grow stronger and more confident in and out of the water. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Karen Beeman.
Get through easier. Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Beeman. I've had the opportunity to speak on behalf of the pool in the past. I am the president of the Blue Devil Swim Club, a Warren alum, and I have 3 kids who will go through the swim and water polo programs at Warren. I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Danny in May and start a conversation about the pool. I'm looking forward to continuing that conversation later this November. The timing of our meeting and your discussion are a bit flipped for me, so I did email you last night late a presentation that had most of what I was hoping to cover in a forum like this, just to reiterate the utilization of the pool, the value I believe it provides, and the partnership we're looking to have with you as you go through this very complex decision. It is a multi-year, big financial decision, and I absolutely respect that and hope to partner with you and be as transparent with our community and stakeholders as we can with you. I also heard in the meeting on October 21st, a question from the board member asking, well, is the pool even used? And so I think we have an opportunity to share with you more of the successes of the pool. We invite you to a swim meet with the reinstation of swim gym. There's 1,700 students using it. We have 150 kids and growing on the swim team. Our head coach wanted to come today, but she's coaching 4 of our 9 groups. We have 2 to 6 kids trying out every week. So the community is absolutely interested in the pool. We have 80 athletes from a high school perspective. You've got 4 varsity sports that are all year long in the pool. We, as a club, rent the pool almost 6 days a week, 12 months out of the year. We are one of the few facilities that is year-round. So I believe very strongly in the value that it provides to a very large number of students and community members. And I look forward to continuing to partner with you to understand the estimates. It's really hard to see an agenda, to see an audit, and know how many sources and what does it really mean, and apples to apples. And Dr. Danny, you know, I've been trying to be informed and doing some FOIA requests, which produced some interesting conversations outside of the school. But I'm really interested in just facts and data and partnering with you all on how to protect and maybe even grow this valuable resource. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Is there anybody, so that's everybody we had who signed up. Is there anybody else that's in the audience that didn't sign up on either topic or any other topics that wishes to address the board? I don't want you to feel left out. Don't let my 30-minute mark scare you. So, okay.
Is there another list?
Is there another sheet? Lisa, can you take it?
grab it.
It's okay. That's our list for extra special public speakers.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on one second, though. Lisa, is there anyone else that's on there? One more? Okay, we'll bring it forward then. And go ahead, and as with everyone else, state your name. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good evening, board. My name is Kara. I'm a Warren 2007 alum, and I have been a board member for the Blue Devil Swim Club for over 12 years. Swimming at Warren Pool has shaped my life. I worked in the aquatic industry since I was 14 years old. I learned how to swim at Warren Pool at age 6, taking Park District swim lessons, joining the Blue Devil Swim Club shortly thereafter, and then the high school swim team. My first job was lifeguarding at Warren Pool for the Park District programs, and ultimately my full-time career started in aquatics. From 2013 to 2019, I led the aquatic department for the Gurnee Park District, managing Outdoor Aquatic Center, Gages Lake Pool, Fit Nation Pool, and Park District programs that operated out of Warren Pool. I've trained hundreds of your students and alum how to swim, be a lifeguard or swim instructor, or just basic CPR. I'm still a certified pool operator today, understanding maintenance facility operations of the pool. After listening to the board meeting last month, I want to clarify an important point prior to decision making. Chloramines are not toxic. They're a normal byproduct of chlorine doing its job. Every chlorinated pool has some chloramines. The difference lies in how well the air is managed. Chloramines exist because swimmers are present. Having chloramines in the air is confirming that your pool is heavily used. The pool is used 6 days a week by multiple user groups and is one of the only sports at the high school that uses the same space for all 3 high school sport seasons, both by men and women. Swimming is a no-cut team where students get the chance to feel included and have a sense of belonging in a world that can be extremely overwhelming and heavy as a teenager. Swimming programs provide more than physical exercise. It's the only sport Warren offers that's a life skill that saves lives. Swimming supports mental health, giving students an outlet for stress and anxiety. And the structure and focus of swim training teaches discipline, goal setting, and perseverance, skills that carry directly into academics, college, and careers. Having chloramines in the pool isn't a reason to shut down the pool. It's a reason to fix the ventilation system. Improving the HVAC system is the industry standard, evidence-based solution used in aquatic centers everywhere. With proper airflow and maintenance, chloramine levels drop quickly and air quality improves dramatically. This is a manageable building system issue. To take the opportunity of swimming benefits provided to students and the community away because of a fixable ventilation issue would be short-sighted. We should be proud that our school provides a year-round resource for students in the community that builds stronger, healthier, and more connected students, and we should make sure that it remains available for years to come. Thank you for your time, your commitment to the decisions, and as always, go Blue Devils.
Blue Devils. Thank you. Is there anybody else that did not sign up on the extra special public speaking list that would like to be on that list?
Go ahead.
Yep, please come up. Yeah, no, you have that. You have that.
$1.
All right, go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Good evening. So, I'm Danny Scheck. I live in Gurnee. I am a Warren alum from 2001. I also moved to Gurnee in 1986 and have 2 kids in Woodland. So I've been familiar with the district, with the community, and really how amazing this school district is. I want to speak on both topics. I'll admit, though, that I'm not completely educated on some of the talking points or some of the contrary beliefs. So I just want to be candid with that up front. From a advisory board perspective, just listening to some of the comments and doing some research prior to the meeting, I just felt like the recommendation on the frequency is a bit biased. I feel that the contracted company that's providing the opportunities for this program is providing a recommendation of a full required year for students. So I just want to, again, challenge that thought because, again, they're making, or they're benefiting from that decision on the frequency, but I see the value in the program as long as it's an optional thing for students in need, right? Give the kids, give their families the opportunity to invest in what's meaningful for them, if it's study hall or if it's extra tutoring, mental health services, whatever those are, like those are valuable. They were valuable to me in high school and college. And so I see the benefit of it, but forcing people or forcing students to do it, I think is a bad decision for all of us. Secondly, from the swim perspective, or the pool perspective, my ask is to invest in the pool. I swam for Warren for 4 years. I did it with my buddy back there, James Beeman. We went to state. I was a lifeguard at the Gurney Park District for 6 years. Like, it changed my life on who I became, and it kind of gave me purpose relative to what I wanted to be and things I was passionate about, not only from the relationships, but the experience. I also swam in college because of my experience at Warren. And so using that as a launch point to further my educational experiences was extremely meaningful. And if we didn't have a program like we do, or we didn't have the resources we currently do, or the facilities we currently do, that would not be available. Or it would not be as available to the rest of the kids in the community. So I just find that problematic because this might just be a bit biased for myself, but when I swam in college, people were very familiar with the conference that we compete in. They're familiar with the schools. They're familiar with Olympic athletes that came through like Lake Forest, like the Grievers family and other folks that also swam here at Warren. The remarks from a competitive standpoint for swimming was always like, you guys are trying really hard, but you're just not there yet. And from a reputation perspective, I didn't accept that. So I'm at time. I just want to share my perspective, so thanks for listening, y'all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And of course, hopefully our public understands in fairness, so we just need to keep to that 3 minutes, but that doesn't need to mean to, you can always email us. We do read your emails. We appreciate constituent feedback, so feel free to email us if you would like. All right, moving on, board discussion of visitor comment items, in case we had any to discuss here. Usually that's a placeholder. Seeing that some of the items, actually, both items that are being commented on.
I'd like to say one thing.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Just this one time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just so everybody knows, we're not voting on advisory tonight. That's not the plan. It hasn't been the plan for tonight. So just, so people said, please vote no. We're not voting, just so you know.
It's just good for all of us here
Right.
to know that. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to consent agenda. I'll just make the motion. I move to approve the consent agenda items, which include personnel recommendations, Exhibit A and B, bills dated November 4th, 2025, in the amount of $1,543,309.78, executive session and regular session minutes from October 21st, 2025, Board of Education meeting, and that is it. So roll call vote, please.
Second.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for the second. Any discussion? Pope was second. Any discussion on the approval of the consent agenda? Okay, now roll call vote.
Pope,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Fields,
Yes.
Squires,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Demonte.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So now we're going to move into committee of the whole where we can have our discussions. I'll just make the motion. I move to for the Warren Township High School Board of Education to move to the committee of the whole for the purpose of this section of the meeting. Can I have a second? Second. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote.
Anderson,
Yes.
Pope,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Squires,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Fields,
Yes.
Demonte.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, the first topic is freshman advisory, and I think Dr. Weisman is going to say a few words and share what the process is going to look like going forward for us, give us some timelines, and then if any of us have any discussion on the item, now's our opportunity to do so. So, Dr. Weisman.
Yeah, so my recommendation is that we at least stick to what's on our goals for this year, which was to design the course. We've been talking about that since January. I actually think we've got a good facilitator with Big Picture Learning to do that, and we do have dates scheduled for that team to meet. So I would recommend that we continue that curriculum development. It seems to me like at least some of the concerns around advisory are because we don't have a shared and clarified purpose and outcomes, and taking some time to develop the purpose and the outcomes so that we're able to better look at that and identify what is the experience, I think is a good next step. I think that could help us then have more substantive conversations around the structure. So I would recommend that we just pause conversations around structure. Is it a full period, half period, full year, half year? Some new ideas came up tonight. And I think generally we've got a gamut of experiences with advisory in the past. Some people talked about like a homeroom experience that they had in the past, for example. And so it's, I think, really hard for us to get stakeholders in the room and talk about something that means such different things for everybody. So if you're okay with it, I would like to have that team continue to develop the curriculum. My approach has been since the beginning, and I did explain this to the curriculum development team, that if we build curriculum for the largest possible structure, at least time-based structure, which would be a full period, full year, we're able to then accordion down. If we build something that's small, then decide to run with something that's bigger, we're going to have to sit down and redevelop the curriculum. And so identifying the curriculum, I think, would best allow us to identify shared purpose and outcomes. And then depending on what later structure we decide on, we could have a group of staff go in and prioritize that curriculum. Let's see. Part of the recommendation that we tabled last month was to increase for the incoming freshman class the elective graduation requirement by 0.5. So to say that again in a different way, that recommendation is only for the incoming students. They're 8th graders now. They'd be coming into Warren next year as 9th graders. This recommendation wouldn't impact any of our current students. The recommendation to increase the graduation requirements by 0.5 for electives was not related to the freshman advisory topic. It's related to our efforts to expand our career pathway opportunities. Most of our career pathways, if not all of them, require at least 2 elective credits, or 2 credits, and then most of those credits are electives. And so I think long term, as we continue to develop that, I think a big part of that development this year has been with some of our work to expand internships. And if we're trying to build an experience for our freshman, sophomore, junior that leads into capstone experiences like internships, then having some increased expectations around electives, this is a good step towards that, I think. So I would recommend that you consider at our next board meeting revisiting at least that portion of the initial recommendation because it's not connected to freshman advisory. It was easier to just table it all back last time we met. Trying to think if there was anything else in terms of just like an overview. Yeah, if you want us to find someone else to do the facilitation for that curriculum design, we can go look for different providers. Hopefully I've been transparent with you. I don't know if I'm happy to give you any of the numbers around cost for that. But I think we've talked about big picture learning for a good number of board meetings and having them come in. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions or thoughts about those next 2 steps.
So I just want to say something about using the big picture as your consultant. I don't care what consultant you use, they have an interest in selling you their product. So I think that while there should be a concern, you have to look at it through that lens. It doesn't necessarily, for me, disqualify them as somebody who you can use. Because no matter what they propose, doesn't mean we have to do everything that they say anyway. So I'm not for necessarily abandoning them completely at this point at all, because we just be starting over and go spend money with someone else. So as long as we're using a lens of understanding, what their bias is and whether or not that's good for us or not is our decision, which is part of what we're here to do and what you're getting paid to do. So I'm okay with going forward with them, but through that thought process of my own.
Sure.
So
I just want to say that I've appreciated that we've had the opportunity to take some of our staff who are in this building all the time and give them a chance to go somewhere else and see something else. And the reports that have come back to us when they come to board meetings have felt so energetic and so like they've just seen something different and some new possibilities, which is, I think, a great thing. And then come back here and, you know, think about how does it apply to our community. So I think these trips have been very valuable in terms of like nourishing our imaginations inside this district.
And thinking outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
That or in general? I mean, I'm talking.
Wind it up.
You don't want to open that door. No, I don't mean in general, but I
I
mean.
know what you mean.
just- Yeah, you know, yeah.
Big picture learning versus freshman advisory, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, because that's the one that we're on right now. So either of those, freshman advisory is the item that we're discussing at the moment.
I'll just say regarding the big picture learning, I mean, that was brought to us a long time ago. We've had many discussions about it. The teachers and the people that have been involved in the field trips have been extremely encouraging and encouraged by, from what we can tell from the presentations, by their experiences. They've learned a lot. They brought back a lot of ideas. I think it was a great investment. I think that based on the reports that we got and the energy in the room when they gave them, I think that it was well received by those on the committee that were participating. So I have no problem with continuing on. I mean, I'm not a curriculum developer, so you know, I leave that to the people that are doing the work. But from what we've seen at these meetings and the discussions we've had, I have no reason to be concerned about. Nobody has ever expressed any concerns publicly during those visits or during the reports to us that they have concerns regarding it. So I don't share any concerns with that.
If I might say briefly, I agree with Beth and John. I think we should stay with big picture. Big picture, anybody else is going to try and sell it to you, as you mentioned. But in the time I've been on this board, I haven't seen so much excitement that we saw. I mean, teachers were here excited and ready to go and eager to participate. And I think this is something we need to do. The question is how we do it, but we need to do something.
Yeah, and I think that how we do it is probably what we didn't get into the specifics on with those visits until very recently. And so it does seem like there is shared interest in something. The people that visited saw something that they liked. And some people on those visits, everybody on that visit may or may not have agreed with the proposal I gave. The proposal for a full year, full period was my own. It does seem like many of the people that went on the visits thought we should do something. And I do think that even with the public comments from a month ago and tonight, and we did meet, Natalia and Beth joined a parent meeting before this meeting. And all of those conversations and comments I have heard shared interest around the value of doing something. And we just got to figure out how to do it and what to do it so we address people's concerns while we're addressing the values at the same time.
And I think we need to be transparent with what the stumbling blocks are too. Because
Definitely.
there are many stumbling blocks involved that we have not discussed publicly anyway. So I think that at some point that has to be part of the process as well. Whatever they are. I'm not saying anything specific, but we have to.
Well, yeah, to speak to that, I did also in the board meeting, just to keep stepping forward, I did report out on a few things that came up last month. So we did do some research into summer school, and it doesn't sound like it would be very easy for us to like partner with other school districts for summer school. That doesn't seem like a very open option. We've talked about how we probably should go back to the drawing board for our own internal summer school. We've had many years of the same summer school, and maybe we can work with staff in the next year or two to figure out if there's more summer school options. Not that we should rely on summer school for the best high school experience we can offer, but just open up those options. We did look a lot into PE waivers that had came up a week or a month ago. There are other schools that offer PE waivers to more students than we do. So all of our PE waivers for athletics are for our upper class students at Almond.
I'd be interested in exploring that a little bit more, just in terms of the PE versus band and then the PE versus athletics. I know athletics don't necessarily span an entire semester like band might, but I'm trying to remember what marching band doesn't either, I don't think. So
I think athletics gets out for the semester that they're in their sport.
only the last 2 years.
Right, only the last 2
junior and
years, but
seniors.
only the semester that they're in the sport.
Correct. And
Yeah,
that's
but
band
they get
too.
the whole semester.
But that's band too.
Yes, understood. But yes, not ninth and 10th grade. I understand that.
Why not? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
agree.
That's what I'd
no,
like
yes.
explored. Like if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could take a look
Yeah.
at that and free up some of credits possibly in that respect. I mean, that
Yeah,
might,
understand.
if other
Yeah,
schools,
totally.
if that's what other schools are doing, then maybe we just take a look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're able to look into those two a little bit more, and we can continue doing that. I think we'll have some policy recommendations around the summer school and correspondence and the virtual courses, just to try to streamline that a little bit. We are starting to talk about additional dual enrollment options with CLC. That seemed like an opportunity that was indirectly or just briefly mentioned. We didn't look into, but I do have written down that there was discussion last time about additional early bird classes or giving students the opportunity to take classes during lunch. Some schools do that more. That's not, probably I would put that one and PE into the bucket of that impacts a lot of things. We need to look into that. And that's probably not something that we would recommend even if we spend a lot of time looking at it, that we try to implement next year, but we could start looking at that as a future change. And then something that came up because we were looking into world languages. A lot of the conversation last month was about world language and the impact that this might have on the initial recommendation might have on world language. Some schools do offer the seal by literacy exam earlier in their high school career. If a student passes the seal or receives a seal by literacy, then
Earlier than senior year?
yeah, they can take it. They can take it at any time during their high school career. And in Illinois, students get credit for, like, if they take the seal by literacy, they receive the seal by literacy, that counts as years of high school world language credit and counts as college credit. So that's an interesting thing that we're going to try to look some more into, because we do have this program at where a lot of our students are feeding into us that have been part of
Woodland.
dual language program for many years. So those are, just to bounce on what John was saying, some of the things that might have been hurdles or might continue to be hurdles that we can hopefully keep looking at.
And they be good hurdles to overcome either way.
Yeah.
If it's helpful to the students, and
Sounds like there's connected somewhat. Some of that might be separate than freshman advisory that we just need to be educated on and understand a little bit of the school process and how that impacts credits. So however this comes back to us, it may not come back to us as advisory, may come back to us in different ways, just as long as we get caught up to speed and learn a little. I personally have nothing. First off, is there anybody else on freshman advisory?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
for
go
me
ahead,
on
Tasha.
freshman advisory, I'd just like to ask that with the small committee that you're working with, if we can maybe provide some regular progress updates on the curriculum development that you're going to be, focusing on. I think that's great, but I know we're constantly hearing that, transparency is so important. So I think making sure that there is a way to really provide regular updates, even if it's just a small blurb on your progress.
Yeah.
I think it would be really important to help us understand where we are in the process and how this work is moving forward.
I have a question. Are you asking for that from Dr. Danny, or are you asking for the committee to come and do that?
I would leave that up to you. I mean, you
Yeah,
and the
the-
committee can maybe collaborate on what that would
The,
look like.
the committee's already met twice, and one of the norms that they have is at the end of the meeting, they co-write or I draft, and then they look at and make changes to a small blurb that's then sent out to staff, and I give that. And the next Friday update, oftentimes I do those on Fridays, not necessarily every week, but a lot of weeks, and so I could just also be providing that at board meetings as part of the superintendent's reports. And then just to reference the parents also, they did say that they would like to continue to meet. So we're going to meet hopefully every month, but it might be 5 weeks between some of the meetings, and so I can include just an update on those reports also. We talked about expanding that if we're going to continue to meet at least through probably April, because that's how long we've got, at least got meetings through April or March or April for the curriculum group. This parent group could meet at least through March or April for the same amount of time, but we probably need to expand the parents, because right now the reason that all these parents are there is because of the concern about freshman advisory and the impact it might have on fine arts. They all did express that they have kids that are in things other than fine arts. So I do think they're bringing different perspectives, but we'll try to broaden that umbrella a little bit. Definitely can do that. So I'll put an update on my monthly superintendent report that comes at this board meeting of not only the curriculum update from that curriculum group, and then my own update on the parent group, if that's okay. If that fits.
Thank you.
Yep.
The only couple of comments. I mean, I echo much of what was said, just from a personal take on freshman advisory. So I don't want to repeat that, but just one comment that I do love when we can send our faculty and staff out to various sites. Many times in this profession, in the profession of education, it's seen as an extra cost or whatever, and I really enjoy being able to treat our faculty and staff as the professionals that they are and send them off-site, sometimes out of state. We get tunnel vision, and we talk a lot about what happens in Lake County or what happens in the region, and when we can send them and they come back and debrief on that, not us, them, not our administrators all the time, although they accompany, but them, I think that's huge. So I just want to make sure that the point is raised that when we can treat our faculty and staff as the professionals they are to go and make decisions and opinions and bring those back, we value that. And we appreciate that. And we were very sincere at the time when we appreciated them spending time away from their students here, their families, to go and do something on behalf of Warren. So just
volunteered to go.
yeah, it's great when they can do that fact-finding stuff for the betterment of the organization. So sometimes there are dollars attached to that, and if this was corporate, you probably wouldn't even think twice. But we need to treat
It's an investment.
the profession of education it's an important one, and we need to treat it just as well as we can. Thank you for all the comments from our board members and discussion, quite frankly, on this topic. We know we received a lot of feedback. We appreciate the direction it's heading, and we'll continue to have conversations on this. So thank you. We're going to move on to the next discussion topic, which is swimming pool improvements. And once again, I believe Dr. Weisman is going to, he provided us a memo. I'm not sure if he wants to add anything to that, but this is mainly for us to have our first kind of full discussion on the topic of the pool. Is there anything that you want to lead us in with?
Yeah,
Okay.
two things that I would just high level draw your attention to. I did put utilization numbers in the memo, so you could see that there's about 1,500 students that are getting PE, about 80 students that are in Warren athletic teams that use the pool, about 150 or so individuals that are part of the community swim club, and then the rental income that we get from that club. Mostly I think most important, there are 3 scenarios that we tried to put together internal financial estimates for. These are 10-year internal financial estimates. So the first scenario that I've got in front of you, I did like a summary also in the packet.
Yep.
So it says page 9 underneath. So I think we've got, these could obviously be modified, but this is how I would recommend you consider it. Approach A would be a full commitment. So we're approving the air handler, and I appreciate the technical description of air versus chlorine, because I think we mentioned at the last meeting, like, it's still safe, but that piece needs to be fixed. So that helps. That's validating. I appreciate that. I had no idea what that meant, but you explained it very well. So full commitment would be that we bring to you and you approve an air handler replacement, and you accept some financial risk for structural repairs that are increasingly likely as the pool ages. The big structural repairs, I think, would be the shell of the pool, and if we do have to make any fixes to the roof, which has been talked about for the last 10 years, I think. I don't know, but it doesn't appear that we have any immediate or large tell me if I'm right, Chris, if I've interpreted this right. If there are no like immediate large structural risks with the roof.
Yeah.
And I think you guys did the most recent look at that, was it just in the last year or two? So I don't know exactly where that originally came from in the last decade. There are signs of rust, but the most recent review of that this last year seemed to attribute that to just normal wear and tear. So between the shell possibly needing repaired and the roof needing repaired, the air handler replacement, and just regular upkeep, or our internal estimates are that's somewhere in the next 10 years between $7 and $9 million. I think approach B is that we maintain the pool until there is a major failure that we don't want to address right away, or don't want to address. So in that situation, I'd still recommend, if that's where the direction you want to head, that we go ahead and approve the air handler replacement, but you establish some type of repair cost maximum. So if there is some type of major thing that needs replaced, you have a threshold, and if it's over that threshold, then we start to plan for closure. And the example that I gave you, I think I put like a $2 million repair cost maximum as an example. So the estimate in the next 10 years for that approach would be assuming that there is some type of large structural repair that's over $2 million, or up to $2 million. But we would, if something fails, then that's over $2 million, we're going to have to redesign the space. And I don't know if that's always been part of the conversation, but most likely you're not going to want to just decommission the pool and then have an empty. You could put like the skateboarding club in there maybe, and they could skateboard with it. But
You have to have somewhere to put those 1,500 students for gym too.
Sure, that's true. So probably you're not going to just want to leave it as an empty big room with an empty pool. And when Libertyville did their space redesign, they just turned it into a wrestling room and a dance studio, which are pretty basic, just shell rooms. And it still cost them around $4 million back like 6 years ago. So it's significant costs. So the cost for that scenario is $11 to $13 million, we think, in the next 10 years. And then approach C is a planned phase out, where we are today, or not today, but in the next month or two, deciding that we're going to decline the air handler replacement. I guess anytime. You could decide this at any time. You're going to decline the air handler replacement and just put a date on when we're going to close the pool, and that's between $8 and $10 million, because again, then we would have to redesign the space. So, as much as I think we've talked about here, as much as it costs to maintain a pool, it also costs a lot of money to move away from a pool. So, yeah, that's kind of my. If you didn't get into the memo, that's probably what I would highlight from the memo is I'm not sure that the financial differences in those three approaches are as different as maybe we've thought they were in the past 5 to 10 years.
Just a quick, go ahead, Steve.
Well, if I'm interpreting this correctly, if we decided to do B, and wait until failure, we'd still be on the hook for a chunk of C anyway.
Correct.
Correct?
All of C.
All of C.
Well, whatever,
Yeah.
a chunk of it anyway.
Yeah.
And second observation basically is you're looking at the same numbers no matter what we do.
Well, you're looking at more money with C than doing the full commitment.
I think, you know, I can't, I don't know how much homework you'd need to do to determine the numbers you came up here with.
Homework's done.
Yeah, but it's pretty obvious to me.
Could I just clarify, having said that, Steve? The full commitment, does that include pool maintenance, general maintenance costs, monthly, annual maintenance costs, general, non-construction maintenance costs? Okay. Just wanted to clarify, thanks.
Yeah, and Chris's team has, and I guess, so Pat's team with facilities, the teams have, for the last couple of years, been putting more, we've spent more on pool maintenance and upkeep in the last 2 years than we did the prior 5 to 7 years. And so when Chris has been putting together estimates for annual maintenance, we've been just looking at the last year or two. There is a difference in like the average over the last 5 years compared to what we're expecting in the future, because we're using the last 2 years to make those projections.
Because it would go up and down.
But we're at the replace stage.
Here low.
I have a nitpicking question that really bugged me. It said in one of these analyses that the pool loses 15,000 gallons of water a day. Am I misreading that?
I think it was 1,500.
Was it 1,500?
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Okay. I'm
Which
just
is
wondering
still
where that went. Okay.
Well, and that brings me to my question. So there, regardless of this, you know, they asked for a water tightness test, a water tightness.
Is
I
it
think is
leaking?
the word,
Is it
right?
leaking? Yeah, how much
Yeah,
is it
leaking? And I mean, regardless of all of this, I think it's probably not a bad idea to proceed with that. Is my thought.
If it's leaking, where's it going?
Wait,
Ground.
let's just
Water
make
fountains.
sure.
We have a lot of water fountains in the high school.
It's been feeding Gow Beach this entire time. There really isn't.
bubbles.
If we fix it, there is no
Different
more
topic,
Gow
yeah,
Beach.
we're
Just to be
So
clear.
much for your water management plan.
To go back to Steve's comment,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm with you. Like, in a way, it simplifies it to see
Just
that all these
make it very
options are
clear,
comparable. But this is over the next 10 years. Of course, beyond 10 years, if we decommission the pool, then there's almost no expense related to that space.
That's correct.
So that's that's the thing we need to
That-
be aware
yeah,
of.
to be fair, okay.
is
I
that
thought of that, though.
To maintain the pool means, to continue to maintain the pool.
I'm 76,
Right.
I don't worry about 10 years.
Yeah, but I actually did think about that.
Okay.
So if it does become a dance studio, whatever, floors need to be replaced.
Sure, yeah.
Like there are other like replacement costs
Sure.
that would have to be done. I don't know that it's.
I'm not
pool-
saying it means that we should close the pool.
No,
I just
I'm,
mean that's
I,
a-
I thought through
not all
that.
the charge.
I
Yeah.
agree with what you're saying, and I thought about like if we do decommission it, there's still costs involved within a 10-year to replace whatever it is, carpets or whatever we just design it to be. There's still a.
But many of the decisions we make, not only on this, obligate a future board to do something. Almost everything we do.
But that could go for anything we talk about,
Yeah,
though.
right.
I mean, we're just
Football
stewards
field.
for
Yeah,
the
right.
we're stewards for the moment that we're elected.
Right.
And that we always have to have that in mind. Our decisions impact well beyond us. As far as the,
Make one
please.
comment
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
the water loss. With our HVAC consultant, he did say the current air handler is the air is coming down from the ceiling, blowing directly on the pool, and he said that's what's causing a lot of the water evaporation.
Okay.
So in any of these scenarios, in all three of these scenarios, if there were a problem with the roof, which we're saying there's not, in all three, like if there were, I guess what I'm saying is the roof would still be an issue long-term, no matter what, if it started to be a problem. Because if we were to like phase out the pool, then would that include like, would we need to reconstruct the whole roof at that? Is that part of a reconstruct? I can't see like the room, right? So if we say we're reconstructing or we're decommissioning the pool, does the roof come out like, is that all still remaining?
So we
That's
had
all
the
remaining?
roof done 2 years ago.
And that roof wasn't touched, because that's where I'm getting confused
No,
right
that
now.
roof was done, so
Okay.
it was
Was the
replaced
structure.
2
Yeah, with the
years
roof
ago.
on the outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did tear it off.
Okay.
They did not see any damage on the inside of the roof, because we had the superintendent from the roofing company there at the same time as we had the HVAC and the structural engineers there. And they said that they didn't see any damage to the roof, and they did put a new roof on.
Well, the pool's been there forever. If it hasn't damaged the roof now, it's
90.
not going to.
It's another one for 10 to 12
I don't
years from
think.
now.
I mean,
John?
well, okay.
Knock on
another
the wood
40
right
years
now.
maybe,
Yeah,
but, you know,
exactly.
it could mean a whole new building by then. What's the difference? I mean,
Chris, when you say they didn't see damage to the roof, are you referencing the structure that holds up the steel beams? Okay.
Correct.
Just want to make sure.
Everything seemed
that's
cosmetic.
what's would be in danger, would be the steel beam from corrosion, not the outside of the roof. I don't think so.
Yeah, it did seem like that was what, when I first came on board, it seemed like that's what people were concerned about. Was
Definitely
the
a
steel
topic that
beams.
was discussed many
Okay.
times, but
Okay.
perhaps it was more anecdotal than it was.
That's what we're thinking.
Could you remind me, what's the process for, like, this $800,000 estimate we have for the air handler? Like, how do we get that number?
So our HVAC consultant, he is the one that draws up all the specs for the air handler and this Dectron, which is the equipment that you would use for the ventilation of the pool. I believe the cost of the Dectron by itself is $600,000. He did give us a rough estimate of that. But the Dectron would be put on the roof. Currently, it's inside the auditorium, the old one. So it would be taking the old one out and putting the new one on the roof where it should be. So that is also part of the cost.
Okay. But then if we decided we were going to do it, you would bid it out?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Could be lower, could be a little higher.
Correct.
Okay.
Lower, hopefully.
Thank you.
Question for Chris. No matter what we do, we're looking between $7 and $13 million over the next 10 years. Budgeted, where is it? How do we pay for it?
Well, since it's on an annual basis, we just put so much money aside. We do have the money that I levy into the O&M fund that we transfer into working cash. That's now paying for roofs, but our roofs will be done in about 2 to 3 years. And then we'll still have that $4 million that we can use on other projects.
So you're telling me we can afford this?
You gotta afford something.
Well,
Burning
I
cash.
think
You're just burning cash.
a good way to look at this is we have this capital improvement plan, this outlay, that may delay some. There may have to be some, and tell me if I'm misspeaking, but that plan may be delayed a little bit, or we might have to make some decisions and prioritize. I think there's always a way. It's what you're willing to give up or delay. And that's a decision that we would have to talk about here and then direct our administration to adjust. I'll make a couple comments, just a personal net reflection on this. One, we all are community members, and some of us have lived here quite a long time. And for many years, when my kids were in swim lessons, before the Goldfish Swim Schools came about, it was kind of like a pool desert. I remember taking my kids to lessons at Gages Lake before they filled theirs. There were even a couple occasions where the Holiday Inn in Gurnee, now the 10, their pool was used. I wonder how much, one, is the pool even there? I think it is. And two, is it even open to that extent anymore for those like park districts and stuff? And I know there's the former Gold's Gym, taking my kids to lessons there. That is not even close to the same length of pool that we have here. So a part of me with my community member hat on, right, not Warren board member, but community member, says it is an asset to the community. And we have people even beyond us that utilize it. So that's point number one, is there might be a bigger discussion of like what we contribute to the greater community, correct? And as such, we may ask for some assistance from those organizations too. Like, we're being asked to put money into this. We also may need some support with various things, and that could include fundraising. So I think that it's fair to say and bring in those organizations that do utilize it, bring them into this process. But I do think it's much more than just does Warren need it or not. Two, there was a point raised but that I always think about, which is if you were a certified lifeguard, you could have a job like that around here if you're a kid because of Gurney Park District, so the Hunt Club Aquatic Center, or Fit Nation, or the Hurricane Harbor, or Great Wolf, or I mean, we're just like in this unique position, community area, where I always wondered, and they seem to still never have enough lifeguards. So a part of me says there's a disconnect there. Maybe it's talking to those organizations, and you know, if you want to come and pay for our kids and you can use our pool, but you're giving them jobs, or I feel like there's a community connection conversation piece with those local employers that could benefit from here. So I do think we're in this, you know, if we were 50 miles away, that might not be a thing, but I think there, again, employment of our kiddos and contributing back to the community, I think plays a part in that too. And in general, especially when looking at these costs, like it's a program that's been here. I hate comparing it to other programs. Like we could have this conversation, pick it. We redid tennis courts, you know, we redid other things. Like we invest in football. We've had this pool. Why aren't we not, like, why all of a sudden are we stopping? And just for transparency, I have no kids in the swim program at all. But I do always think about the fairness of our discussions and how we make the decisions that we do. So I try to think back, right? Because past precedent and just the lens, the filter that and you know, with other programs that have needed some capital investments, is this any different? So maybe it's a slightly different dollar amount, but we've had some investments I can think of, turf or, like I said, tennis courts or others that I think are probably in line. So these are just my individual comments as we continue to talk about this, but yeah, those are kind of the points I've been thinking of. Is there anything else on the pool that anyone else wants to discuss, bring up, ask questions?
What is the timeline you guys need for a decision on the HVAC stuff, on the air handler?
It would probably, for us to try to get it done over the summer, we would probably need a decision probably within a month.
So, I guess from what I'm hearing tonight, I hear a lot of it's excellent. Thank you, Susan, for always bringing up the counterpoints or ideas that maybe some of us are thinking but don't want to say, or like we have to vet through these. No, we're pretty transparent in what we believe. That being said, it's always good to look at the other side of the argument and kind of weigh that out. And I appreciate you bringing up what you did. But from the conversation I'm just hearing now, there seems to be, we don't take action during committee of the whole, but there seems to be some favoritism toward like most likely full commitment. So combining that with the need to get some ordering if we were to move forward with this, I doubt next week that's pretty quick. So maybe we
You have to go out to bid.
I know. Yeah. So if you need like a formal yes, we're moving forward, we can do that part, and then we can. Okay. So then maybe for our December meeting, you bring us back something and maybe talk to your whoever you would bid this out through to just make sure timelines are in the district's favor. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think this is, if I could just close this out, I think this is really good for us, for the board to have a clear voice and decision around this, so that the topic of, is the pool going to be here in 3 years, we can just close that door and let's make a decision and go in one direction or the other. It's hard for a program, curricular wise, and a community partnership to function in a healthy way if there's always this wonder in the background.
Ambivalence, yeah.
I'd like to thank you
I was
for the KISS formula summary.
just gonna say that. Well, and all the work that went behind it. I mean, I don't know that anyone is gonna really see all of the inspection reports that we dove through, but it was super helpful to make a decision on my part. And I know there was a lot of homework involved in preparing for this, so thank you, Chris, Danny, and all the others that dug down deep on that. Thank you.
We've got a parent meeting coming up, and we'll talk to them about maybe how we can increase the partnership with, now that we've got more confidence
I think
in the next
that's
10
fair.
years.
I mean, if part of the rationale is the bigger community, we need partnership on that.
That's really, when we did the football turf, that was part of the deal. All the people that use it, lacrosse, soccer, Little League football, all those people came forward.
Chipped in.
Well, through their annual fees, which were raised, so that they could contribute, not the full price, obviously, but over time.
A portion.
That became a significant portion, so I think that, figuring out ways to monetize it without hurting someone would be significantly helpful too. But, I mean, how do we make it, are we saying now that everybody's in favor of this, so everybody can relax?
I mean, we're not voting, but I see enough people. I don't hear anyone. Well,
so they can relax.
No, understood, but we're keeping the conversation, with anything, we keep the conversation here.
Yes,
And
understood.
those people can see our reactions, both on camera and in person, and they're hearing our conversation. So I hear ya. Clarity is kindness, and we want to make it clear. So I think at this point, to help flush that out, are there any of the board members that are really against this or want to, speak now or?
Hold your peace.
Yeah. No.
I think they've helped
All right,
us
there we
very
go.
much.
There's your clarity.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. The third item for discussion is the strategic plan quarterly update.
Yeah, so we're trying something new this year with our plan on a page. We're using it also as like a progress monitoring dashboard. We got staff feedback last year that they wanted more updates around the plans and some of the data. So we're trying that. It's new for us. Let's see, and then we're also linking in the feedback loops. I think that was provided as an attachment as opposed to a link in the board agenda. So I would connect probably a discussion around this initially as far as my comments. We can talk about anything, but I would connect this immediately to the state report card analysis. A lot of our big wins have been part of these improvement plans for the last couple of years. So when the state report card came out recently, at the same time that we had crazy things happening on our campus and we kind of forgot about that internally, I really want to celebrate the work that staff have done for 9th grade on track, for our graduation rate. If you look at the percentile analysis, you'll notice that we are prioritizing instructional spending and are being really efficient with our operational spending. We had increases in our perception surveys, which I think is really important. I think we still need to pay attention to college remediation. We've got some new things happening last year and this year that it takes a couple years for the college numbers to come back, but we got some good things happening, I think, with college remediation strategies that you'll start to see hopefully next year. Enrollment, you'll see on that state report card, enrollment does continue to decline, and we'll see that again in the next year. And then truancy and absenteeism, we're struggling with, along with many school districts in the state. But overall, I'm really grateful for the efforts for things that we can celebrate. I know our team is continuing to try to address 9th grade on track in different ways we can support those 9th grade students. Most recently, really grateful for Dr. Gio Karras and his team for putting in place another round of our Warren Will program to support students that are really close to being successful at the end of the semester. It's a lot of work by administrators, student services staff who are identifying students and helping them get signed up for that. It's a lot of extra work for teachers who say that they're willing to stick around after school and be in contact with some of those students above and beyond what they're signed up for, so I'm appreciative of that. That's my quick spiel, but if you have any questions about the quarterly update, Sometimes on the
comment.
quarterly updates, I bring in a team to report on a strategy. I didn't do that tonight, but go ahead.
Just a comment. I thanked you both privately, but publicly, I'd like to say thanks for the Warren Will program and those that are involved. That is probably long overdue and much needed, and it's showing some really nice data too. So, thank you guys so much for putting effort into that. The question I had, I did ask Danny today, and bringing it up for us at the table to discuss maybe if anyone has any thoughts about it. But when I was looking at a couple of, when I've done, presentations like this on paper, we had a trending in the right direction but not achieved. And I see how this has been designed as needs targeted attention. Some of the data points don't meet the goal, are slightly under, like for instance, below 5% in all grades for a failure rate. We are not below 5%, but it's green. So that threw me off as a person that kind of looks very black and white at stuff. So I don't know if everyone's good with that. When I questioned it, we talked about, yes, it's going in the right direction. I agree. I'm not saying anything needs to be changed, but it was just the way it was presented. It made it look like we met the goal, and I was confused by it. So, anyway, if anyone has any other comments, but that was just my thought. If there might need to be some different way to.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I see. Is there anything else? That's the only one that I see that.
Ninth grade on track
let's
has
see.
moved a long way in the right direction, but it's not
Amen.
quite there, and it's yellow, which.
Yeah.
Right. It's trending
Why is that
correctly.
The way that, I think we should figure out how to make this clear to people. The point is to make it clear and easy, and if it's not, then we should address when I went through and put these as yellow, the ones that I put as yellow were pretty far off. So our goal around ninth grade on track seemed like it was pretty far off because it's around the same as what it was
because you're
last
trying to
year.
increase 5% over last year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Whereas Beth is right, the failure rate is not as good as our target, so we're not hitting the mark. But it's my gut on it was that's pretty close. We're doing some things.
Okay.
We probably aren't going to modify what we're doing.
Okay.
So I think there's definitely room for improvement there. I like the idea of trending not achieved. That might be more clear than needs targeted attention. I think that's good feedback.
Yeah, off track would mean to me needs targeted attention.
Yeah, that's fair.
Similar to like the plan for the ninth grade seminar, since we're regrouping there.
And Warren Will is the targeted attention that's going towards ninth grade on track,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Correct. Generally, though, it is a little bit harder to do the colors in October because we just started. So it helps us identify probably in October some quick data, but when we get to January, March, hopefully that's helping us some more. So it's great feedback.
I appreciate this presentation. I understand what you're saying about trending and whatever.
The scorecard looks good overall anyway, I think.
Nobody is criticizing
No,
the
no, I know
progress
that.
whatsoever.
I just hadn't said it.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it in detail and checked it out, and I think there's a lot of good things happening, and it's just refreshing to see, some of our stuff actually move the needle a little bit, so. Which everybody's been trying, so it's good. The trying is
Working.
working.
This is kind of a basic question. How do we know how many of our students have enrolled in college?
That data is collected by for what's on the state report card.
Yes, and it says graduates enrolled in college within 12 months. Where does
Yeah.
that information come from?
So it comes from this organization called the National Student Clearinghouse, and they process transcripts for all the universities and high schools. And so they do this big report, and the state contracts with them to get state numbers on that. We also get local numbers. We get on an annual basis our own high school data directly from them. But when your kids finish college and they're applying to jobs and the job says, hey, we need your college transcript, it's probably in the background National Student Clearinghouse that's managing that process.
Thought we can't be depending on them calling and telling us because
That's fair.
They won't even make their bed for crying out loud.
I think there was a survey about something about that. My kids didn't pay any attention to it.
That's it. I think good report card and appreciate everybody's efforts this first quarter. of the
Very
school year.
encouraging. Thank you.
Thank you on that. Okay, if there's no other comments on the strategic plan quarterly update, then I'm gonna move to adjourn the committee of the whole and reconvene the regular meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fields,
Yes.
Pope,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Squires,
Yes.
Martinez, Demonte.
Yes.
Motion carried.
So there's one optional item for us to go into an executive session for. If one of us wants to discuss security procedures, then we need to make a motion to move into executive session. And we would conclude this portion, at least for executive session, then later on we'll briefly go back open to end the meeting. But is there anyone here, any of the board members that wishes? Okay, so then I'll make the motion and you can second it. I move to enter in an executive session regarding 5 ILCS 122C, security procedures. Roll call vote, or second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Pope,
Yes.
Martinez, Squires,
Yes.
Fields,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Demonte.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Dr. Weisman, are we moving to the boardroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you make it?
I made it almost the entire night.